Section 102, Definitions. For the purpose of this code, certain terms, phrases, words, and their derivatives shall be construed as specified in this chapter and elsewhere in this code where specific definitions are provided. Terms, phrases, and words used in the singular include the plural and vice versa. Terms, phrases, and words used in the masculine gender include the feminine and vice versa. The following terms are defined for use in this code. Alter or alteration is any change, addition, or modification in construction or occupancy. Approval shall mean that the proposed work or completed work conforms to this code in the opinion of the building official. Approved, as to materials and types of construction, refers to approval by building officials as the result of investigation and tests conducted by the building official, or by reason of accepted principles or tests by recognized authorities, technical or scientific organizations. As graded is the extent of surface conditions on completion of grading. Authority having jurisdiction is the organization, political subdivision, office, or individual charged with the responsibility of administering and enforcing the provisions of this code. Bedrock is in place solid or altered rock. Bench is a relatively level step excavated into earth material on which fill is to be placed. Borrow is earth material acquired from an off-site location for use in grading on a site. Building is any structure usually enclosed by walls and a roof, constructed to provide support or shelter for an intended use or occupancy. Building existing is a building erected prior to the adoption of this code, or one for which a legal building permit has been issued. Building official is the officer or other designated authority charged with the administration and enforcement of this code, or the building official's duly authorized representative. Civil engineer is a professional engineer licensed to practice in the field of civil engineering. Civil engineering is the science or profession in which a knowledge of the mathematical and physical science is gained by study, and practice is applied with judgment to utilize natural and man-made resources and forces in the planning, design, management, construction, and maintenance of buildings, structures, facilities, and utilities in their totality, for the progressive well-being and for the benefit of mankind, enhancing the environment, community living, industry, and transportation, taking into consideration such aspects as functionality, efficiency, economy, safety, and environmental quality. Compaction is the densification of a field by mechanical or chemical means. Construction failure is a failure that occurs during construction or after the same is completed to a degree that it cannot safely serve its intended purpose. Continuous structural inspection is a structural inspection where the structural inspector is on the site at all times observing the work requiring structural inspection. Earth material is any rock, natural soil or fill, or any combination thereof. Engineer of record is a civil engineer responsible for the structural design. Erosion is the wearing away of the ground surface as a result of the movement of wind or water. Excavation is the mechanical removal of earth material. Existing grade is the grade prior to grading. Failure is defined as an unacceptable difference between expected and observed performance. This definition includes catastrophic structural collapse, but also includes performance problems that are not necessarily catastrophic or life-threatening, including serviceability problems such as distress, excessive deformation, premature deterioration of materials, leaking roofs and facades, and inadequate interior environmental control systems. Fill is a deposit of earth material placed by artificial means. Finish grade is the final grade of the site that conforms to the approved plan. Forensic engineering is the application of engineering principles to the investigation of failures or other performance problems. Forensic engineering also involves testimony on the findings of these investigations before a court of law or other judicial forum when required. General collapse is the immediate, deliberate demolition of an entire structure by a triggering event, e.g., explosion. Geotechnical engineer is a registered civil engineer with special qualification in the practice of geotechnical engineering, as recognized by the Board of Civil Engineering of the Professional Regulation Commission or by the Specialty Division of Geotechnical Engineering of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers, PICE. Geotechnical engineering is the application of the principles of soil and rock mechanics in the investigation, evaluation, and design of civil works involving the use of earth materials and foundations and the inspection or testing of the construction thereof. Grade is the vertical location of the ground surface. Grading is an excavation or fill or combination thereof. Key is a designed compacted fill placed in a trench excavated in earth material beneath the toe of a slope. Limited local collapse is a failure of a structural member without affecting the adjacent members, e.g., destruction of one or two columns in a multi-base structure. Occupancy is the purpose for which a building or other structure or part thereof is used or intended to be used. Periodic structural inspection is a structural inspection where the inspections are made on a periodic basis and satisfy the requirements of continuous inspection, provided this periodic scheduled inspection is performed as outlined in the inspection program prepared by the structural engineer. Prefabricated assembly is a structural unit, the integral parts of which have been built up or assembled prior to incorporation in the building. Professional inspection is the civil engineering inspection required by this code to be performed by the civil engineer. Such inspections include that performed by persons supervised by such engineer and shall be sufficient to form an opinion relating to the conduct of the work. Progressive collapse is the spread of an initial local failure from element to element, eventually resulting in the collapse of an entire structure or disproportionately large part of it. Robustness is the insensibility of a structure to local failure. From this definition, it follows that robustness is a property of the structure. Rough grade is the stage at which the grade approximately conforms to the approved plan. Site is any lot or parcel of land or contiguous combination thereof under the same ownership, where grading is performed or permitted. Slope is an inclined ground surface, the inclination of which is expressed as a ratio of vertical distance to horizontal distance. Soil is naturally occurring superficial deposits overlying bedrock. Soils engineer, see geotechnical engineer. Soils engineering, see geotechnical engineering. Structure is that which is built or constructed, an edifice or building of any kind, or any piece of work artificially built up or composed of parts joined together in some definite manner. Structural engineer is a registered civil engineer with special qualification in the practice of structural engineering as recognized by the Board of Civil Engineering of the Professional Regulation Commission or by the Specialty Division of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers PICE, together with the Association of Structural Engineers of the Philippines ASAP. Structural engineering is a discipline of civil engineering dealing with the analysis and design of structures that support or resist loads, ensuring the safety of the structures against natural forces. Structural failure is the reduction of capability of a structural system or component to such a degree that it cannot safely serve its intended purpose. Structural inspection is the visual observation by a structural inspector of a particular type of construction work or operation for the purpose of ensuring its general compliance to the approved plans and specifications and the applicable workmanship provisions of this code as well construction. As overall construction safety at various stages of structural observation is the visual observation of the structural system by the structural observer as provided for in section 107.9.2. For its general conformance to the approved plans and specifications at significant construction stages and at completion of the structural system. Structural observation does not include or waive the responsibility for the structural inspections required by Section 107.1 or other sections of this code. Terrace is a relatively level step constructed in the face of a graded slope surface for drainage and maintenance purposes.